Good evening, Graham Rawlinns and my two friends overlooking my shoulders with our Friday edition of News Geelong. It's getting down to the business end of local footy season and our expert tipsters are still running on pride with winning selections. While at the Geelong Gallery, the leading ladies support group, the Grasshoppers, are celebrating 30 years of involvement. From the world of Geelong sport, Mitch Scoop Cleary brings you the latest sports news, while from the weather world, we'll present the Geelong and Surf Coast area weather forecast expected over the next 6 days. The Geelong Gallery has a very strong following, both in and around Geelong, as well as throughout Victoria and Australia. One of its key successes has been the 30-year ongoing involvement of the ladies' support group, the Grasshoppers. Ian Nichols has more.
Well, here we are again at the Geelong Art Gallery for their latest exhibition, Sentinels and Showboats, Milestones in Print Collecting. In fact, it's a striking presentation that'll be here till September 9. It actually celebrates 50 years of Acquisitive Print Awards and also jointly another celebration, the 30 years of the support group, the Geelong Grasshoppers. And we're talking with their president, Barbara Hanna. First thing I must ask you, Barbara, have you been part of the Grasshoppers for all of those 30 years?
Well, I think I can say I've been part of it since the very beginning, but not the very first meeting. I wasn't at the first meeting. There were only 4 people there, but I think I was probably at the second meeting. So pretty well much 30 yees, I'd say. Yes, it's a long time.
Must have been very young at the time, I would have to say that.
Well, one of my colleagues on the committee said, "Do you remember you brought a small child on your knee to the meeting?" And I said, "Well, I did at that time. I didn't have anybody to look after him, but he was only 2, I think."
Well, it's a wonderful, it's the key support group of the Geelong Gallery, and they do a power of work. And this year, being your 30th anniversary, is a bit special, isn't it?
Well, it is a very special time to have a group of women that are together, and many of us are still the original members. Quite a few of us are still together after that period of time is pretty phenomenal, really. And so it's just been a wonderful organisation to be involved with. It's been wonderful to be involved in this magnificent gallery and to see this gallery develop into the way it has developed. We're very proud to be associated with it, and the staff are tremendous towards us in helping us put events on and supporting us right throughout. So yes, it's just been a wonderful thing to be involved with, and also just as a group of women who have become friends. We're sort of like lifelong friends these days, and my very, very good friend, probably best friend, has now been associated from something like this. So it's been great in that respect as well. But we work really well together as a group, and we come up with really innovative functions that we have to raise money for the gallery and for these Print Acquisitive Awards every second year. So yes, it's been a tremendous time over the last 30 years.
Well, it is a joint celebration, isn't it? We'll get on to that a little bit later with the gallery director, Jeffrey Edwards, but the 50th anniversary of the Print Acquisitive Awards as well, and you've had a very big involvement in that as a group.
Yes, well, when we first started 30 years ago, we were raising funds for the gallery for whatever was required at the time, and acquisitions were part of that. But it wasn't until 1997, I think, that we decided to direct our fundraising efforts towards the Print Acquisitive Awards. So part of the money that goes towards or should I say, part of the way the Print Awards are funded is through the efforts of our organisation.
Now, are you still looking, are you growing? Are you looking for members still?
Oh, absolutely, yes. We'd be delighted to have anybody who would really be interested in the arts, interested in learning about the arts, interested in helping put on spectacular and fantastic events that we have. Sometimes they're simple events like bus trips. We we go to various other art galleries and beautiful gardens and have lunches in some of these spectacular places, but also we usually have an event in the gallery every year where we have a fabulous lunch for probably up to about 100 people in the gallery, and we're very delighted to be able to use this amazing gallery to have an event like this. It just really looks tremendous, usually bringing in a speaker. So yes, we'd be delighted to have anybody who might be interested, and of course through the gallery there's application forms if people are interested.
Well, I'm sure there are other like-minded people who are seeing this for the first time and would like to be part of it. This is a beautiful regional gallery. I'm a little bit biased or parochial, but I believe it's the best in Australia. And we're going to be talking with Jeffrey a little later about the 50th anniversary of the first Print Acquisitive Award.
Yes, which is what this particular exhibition's about as well. It's a sort of a dual celebration with the Print Acquisitive Awards. And what's really been excited about this exhibition for us is that it's the first time we've actually seen many of the prints that have been acquired through this award on the walls, and it was really tremendous to be able to come to the opening night and see many of these prints that we've been involved in acquiring displayed probably for the first time for us, and so that was really great. And of course to see the other awards as well, particularly in the one in the foyer, the original one. I think it was the Merrill Award, or I can't remember, but something like that. Yes.
Going back 50
yes.
years, 1952.
Yes,
yep.
yes.
All right, well, special this 50th anniversary of the Acquisitive Print Award, and we've got some of the very best exhibited here for a little while, till September 9.
Indeed we do, Ian. We have winners of so many of these awards, and as we know, these days there are awards in galleries and museums around the land. There are awards for different kinds of art, paintings, a lot for photography, a few for works on paper generally, but this is very distinctively for printmaking. And of course, artist printmakers represent one of the strongest and most enduring streams in visual arts practice today. And indeed, the gallery, since 1962, has had a National Print Award.
Yeah, do you know how it all started back then 50 years ago?
Well, I think the gallery council and staff at the time, much smaller than now, and indeed we're still a small business as it were, although a large regional gallery, had the idea that printmaking then was, as it still is, as I mentioned a moment ago, really one of the strong streams in contemporary art. In particular, Victoria has many fine of our finest, of the country's finest printmakers working here. This, of course, is and has been a national prize, and artists from around the land submit entries. So I think it was a very concerted, strategic decision to look at this one area of practice, and a number of influential people at the time. Tate Adams, who is still with us and works and lives in Queensland, tropical Queensland today, who was then head of printmaking at RMIT, Richard Anois, of the president of the council here at the gallery, and the son of the famous watercolour painter Len Anois, and a number of others thought, let us focus on this particular strong stream of practice that otherwise doesn't get exposed. Indeed, the 1962 the Mayor's Prize, City of Geelong Mayor's Prize, was the first prize in this country for printmaking. So it's quite a pioneering exercise, and happily, courtesy of the Geelong Gallery Grasshoppers, splendid and loyal group though they are, we still mount this prize every second year today.
At the Geelong Art Gallery for their latest presentation, Sentinels and Showboats, this is Ian Nichols for News Geelong.
Thank you, Ian. Geelong's own Olympic hopes rest squarely on the shoulders of 7 of the region's most talented and experienced international sporting talents. 2 will grace the athletics track, 2 will grace the magnificent rowing course at Eton Dorney, another 2 will participate in the majestic arenas of equestrian events, and the final competitor on the judo mats. The group of Craig Mottram, 5,000 metres, Nathan Deeks in the 20 and 50 kilometre walks, Phoebe Stanley, the women's stroke 8, in the rowing, Josh Dunkley-Smith, the awesome foursome rowing, James Patterson Robinson, show jumping, and the oldest member of the Australian Olympic team competing in her 4th Olympics, Mary Hannah, in the dressage event. Each of these Olympians will be right in the mix when it comes to finishing on the medal dais, as 4 years of blood, sweat and tears will be put to the ultimate test against the world's best. We in Geelong are very proud of our region's Olympic representatives, and like the rest of the world, will be watching with flags waving and voices cheering as each of the events they participate in is televised to millions around the world. You can send your support and best wishes to our local Olympians by going to the Australian Olympic Team website and send your message. No matter what the outcome, we are very proud of our local Olympic representatives. And by the way, Mr Mayor, put it on the calendar for a civic reception when they return home. As we go to a break on this Friday edition of News Geelong, join our 375 and growing number of followers on Twitter at News Geelong 31 and join our network with your thoughts and comments, including suggested items to cover on the program. Also on Facebook, www.facebook.com/News Geelong 31. You can use either of these tools to also comment and support us with our Use It or Lose It campaign. We'll return with more news after this.